Welcome to Vintage Gaming Memories. Shall we play a game?
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I have a cool item that I picked up the other day from eBay in this box. Well, actually there's two items in this box that I bought from this one seller, but for the sake of time in this video, I'll be focusing on one and I'll do another video dedicated to the other one. So let's get this unboxed and I'll explain what I have in here. Let's just pretend we didn't see that. Well, here it is. This is a 1982 Entex Super Cobra handheld game. Now, I've done my research on this game, and I wanted to get this for some time, but I just wasn't really sure if I wanted to settle for something that was a partial game, meaning that there's really not a box or instructions that came with it, and possibly some heavy wear and tear on the game itself, or pay a little bit more and kind of search for this and find something like this one here, which the pictures online look to be very mint, and so far looks pretty good. So let's first take a look at this box before we dive into what's inside. So we see here the price that was listed at $49.78 at Hills. I don't know what year that would have been. Could have been around the time it originally came out. I like how this has got the extra flap here to get more information, because it's really a closed box like this, but I'm sure for display it was out like this so you can read more about it. Let's see, 2 skill levels, a lot of information here. It does take 4C batteries or an AC adapter, which is nice. And this is a pretty challenging game from what I've seen online, so I'm really excited to try this out. Plays just like Konami's Super Cobra. It's a VFD, so it has that super bright vacuum fluorescent color display, as it states. There is a demo mode, which is nice as well. There's a lot of good stuff. We'll get into the details more, but let's just look at the box. The back has a nice full view of what you have with the game as far as the controls go and everything that's laid out on the actual game itself. And this is a handheld, but it could be a tabletop because it can lay flat and you could just play it right on there. Ages 6 to adult. I think I qualify. So that's pretty much it. On all the other sides, it's just the name and the actual model number. Super Cobra, licensed by Konami. All right, let's open this up and let's check out the game. So we do get the instructions, which is another reason why I did wait to find this one. I know you can always find instructions online, but like I said, I really wanted one that was really in nice condition. And having all the extras like the box and the instructions is just so nice. So we have a lot of information here on how the game works. What's really cool about this game, as you'll see in a little bit, is the joystick. It's got an actual stick controller. And it's a 4-way. Well, here is the game. And let's just check it out. I can tell you right off the bat that this display is pretty good. There's really no scratches on there. I am going to polish that with the microfiber cloth and some Novus 1 just to shine it up a bit. But it does look really nice. The controls and the actual sticker on here looks in great condition. Color still very bright, white. No yellowing. On the back, the instructions are still there, looks great. And then the battery compartments, those two look really good. And then these also look nice. So far so good, right? Before I even put batteries in here, let me just get this all polished up, come right back to you, and give you a little bit of an intro on how this game works, and then we'll play a couple games and see how it goes. Okay, all is done here, and it didn't take much effort to clean and polish this up. As you can see, it looks great. But first, let's go over the objectives and controls before I actually attempt to power this up. Now, if you haven't played Super Cobra in the arcades before, here's a quick overview of your goal. You're controlling a Super Cobra helicopter, which is equipped with 2 different types of weapons. You have missiles to fire, and then you have bombs that you can drop. But both of them require some practice on timing because of how they are launched. As for your mission, well, you need to fly your Super Cobra helicopter through different terrains in which you will gain points. Each of the frames that you'll see that goes by when you turn the game on, you get a point for it. Plus, you get points for destroying missiles that are on the ground or missiles that are launched towards you, as well as the fuel tanks that are on the ground. Speaking of the fuel, you need to destroy fuel tanks every so often because that's how you actually gain fuel, as your fuel will drop as you continue to play. Now, there are 4 different terrains as you progress through the game. There's the skyscrapers, meteorites, mountains, and caverns. Also, there's a bonus course once you complete all 4 different levels. But now that we got the objectives out of the way, here's what controls are on the game. So looking at this from the center here, you have your power switch. You have your options of off, sound, or mute, which is cool because you can actually mute the entire game. To the right of that, you have your skill level between 1 and 2. 2 will be a faster speed, which will make it more difficult. And then to the left of the power switch is this controller, which I love. It's a 4-way joystick control. Then to the right of the skill button, we have the start button, which is pretty obvious what that means. It starts the game and resets the game. Now, what makes this one a little bit interesting is that the layout is a bit different. And the instructions, as I'll show you here, we have it all laid out pretty much the same, except it shows 2 buttons over here to the right of the switch for the skill level. I only have 1, just the start button. It says there's actually a missile button and a bomb button. Well, that's on this side. And on the instructions here, the left side is really the start button and the continue button. So which button am I missing? I'm missing the continue button, which is going to be interesting because the continue button, while you press that down and turn it on, it does give you a pretty cool feature, which would be unlimited lives. So hopefully I can still do that, but I'm not sure which button I would hold down since there's not a continue button. So we'll have to figure that one out. Because normally you only have 3 to start, and then you can get 1 more at 1,000 points. All right, let's just continue with these other 2 buttons on the left side and just see what else we have here. So we have a missiles button and a bomb button. The missile button is pretty much what it states. It's how to launch your missiles. But it also doubles as the way to get into the demo mode. So if I press the missile button down as I turn it on, it'll kick in the demo mode, and we're going to see that shortly. The bomb button, just like it's labeled, it's how you drop your bombs. But it also doubles as a way to see the previous score from the last game you played. So if you're playing a 2-player game with your friend and you finish your game and your friend does his game or her game, you can hold the bomb button down at the end of that game to see the previous game score so you can compare the 2. I think the most coolest button on this is actually the game speed control. And that's this knob here. You can go left to right. Right is fast. Left is slow. And what does this do? Well, it actually controls the speed of the game. So you can go really fast, which makes it harder, but it also makes the points accumulate faster because as the game goes faster, you get points faster. And then you can slow it down on the fly, which is pretty nice. So you don't have to go 1 speed throughout the whole game. So you can just adjust when needed. Now, that covers all the buttons. And again, we don't have that continue button. When I turn the game on, there are some key indicators to be aware of on the display here. It's really on the left side mostly. The first is going to be the skill level status. That's really the indicator of which terrain you're playing in. Now remember, I mentioned there's skyscrapers, meteorites, mountains, and caverns. So it'll show 1 through 4 to tell you which one you're in. And if it shows nothing, well then that means you're in the bonus level. Another indicator on the left are flags that will represent the number of cycles you've completed. It goes up to 29, but it uses a combination of different flags to represent the count. What you'll see is that there are 4 flags that will represent 1 cycle each. Then there's 1 flag that will represent 5 cycles. And then there are 2 flags that will represent 10 cycles each. So if you do the math, 10 plus 10 plus 5 plus 4, You get 29 cycles in total if they all light up. Also on the left side, near the top, you'll see the number of Super Cobras you have remaining. And then there's going to be this block that will just continue to disappear as you continue playing. But if you destroy fuel tanks, it will actually replenish it. So that's basically your fuel level. And then the last indicator here is on the top right. When the game is playing, you can see your score, which will be changing as the game moves on. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So let's get this party started. The batteries are in. I'm going to adjust the camera in a second, and then I'll have the sound on. We'll go to skill level 1, but we'll do a demo first for a little bit, and then we'll actually play a game or two. All right, here we go. Let's test this out. Hopefully this will work. That was cool. So that was the demo mode to test that all the images and sounds work. Now we're actually in the demo mode for the gameplay. You can see that we are in level 1 by the far left there, which is mountains. The points on the top right change pretty quickly after every frame. And of course, if you hit some of those fuel tanks or those missiles that are on your course here, you get more points. We're on level 2 there, or terrain 2, which is the meteorites. You can see how that's a little bit different. And let me change the speed of that knob. I can adjust it to make this faster and more challenging for the demo. You can hear the sound adjusting as well as the speed of the images going by. That's the fastest I can make it. You can see how difficult this would be. I'm going to slow it back down. We're getting to terrain number 3, which looks like skyscrapers. You can hear the sound adjustment now going a little bit slower. This really gives you a good idea of what challenges you have when you start playing this game. I think we're coming up now to number 4, which should be the caverns. And there they are. This is a little bit, well, this is a lot challenging. Look at the space you have to maneuver between. It is tight. So this gives you a good idea how this game works and what obstacles and challenges you will have. I think we're ready to start this and see where I can go with it. I'm sure this is going to be a good challenge for me, and I'd be just thankful if I can get past the first one. So let's reset this game and give it a shot. All right, I will turn the game on. You can see in the top right there where it's alternating between the numbers of 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if I start this game when it's on 1, I will only get the mountains as my terrain, which is not too challenging. If I start it on 2, I'll get the mountains and the meteorites. If I stop it on 3, it's the mountains, the meteorites, and the skyscrapers. And if I do it on 4, it's everything. Mountains, meteorites, skyscrapers, and caverns, plus the bonus one. So why not do all 4, right? So let's do that. That's the bombs that I'm shooting. Now you can only go halfway on the display here. I can't go all the way to the far right, which is fine. But I just thought that'd be worth calling out. Well, that wasn't good. It's a little bit harder for me to do this on an angle. I'm trying to look at my screen as well as my camera view. So I apologize that I'm not doing as well as I would normally want to do. I think I'm a lot better at this game than it shows. So that is it for the first try. Didn't get too far. Let's try this one more time. Let's see if I can get to the second level. So if I hit start, it resets this so I can choose again between 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll do 4 again. There we go. So here should be the meteorites. Yep. I ran right into one. Gosh. But it's hard to adjust. I've got a little bit of an angle. That's my excuse. But you get an idea how this game goes. It's really cool. There's a lot of challenges. I could see this being a game being played for hours. And as a two-player game, it really shouldn't last too long before your turn is up. So I could see that working. And speaking of a two-player game, since I already played 2 games here, let's see if it shows a score from the previous game. So I'll hold down the, yep, there we go, the bombs, and it shows 192. 108 was my current game, but it just ended, and 192 was the last one. Pretty neat. Comment down below and let me know what you all think of this game. I think this would have been a great game to own back in 1982. Really challenging. It's awesome as far as the imagery you get and the gameplay itself. It's a cool pickup for sure. I'm happy I have this. It did cost me a pretty good penny. I mean, you pay what you get, right? This is a nice, really nice condition game. Very close to being, I would say, almost mint condition. I didn't see any flaws on it. Plus, you get the box and the instructions with it. I paid just a little bit under $160, but no regrets at all. Thank you for taking time to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, remember, keep that gaming passion from the past alive by living it today. Take care, everyone.